Task Force 141 in Call of Duty was likely inspired in part by Task Force 121, a real-life US military unit. Task Force 121 was a joint special operations task force created during the Iraq War, comprising members from various elite units such as Delta Force, Navy SEALs, and Army Rangers. It was responsible for high-profile missions, including the capture of Saddam Hussein and the hunt for other high-value targets. In Call of Duty, Task Force 141 is a fictional international special ops unit that mirrors the multinational high-stakes missions carried out by real-world units like the Task Force 121. Both of these units specialize in counterterrorism, covert operations, and the capture or elimination of high-value targets, making Task Force 121 the likely influence on the creation of Task Force 141. And Task Force 121 was formed in 2003 during the height of the Iraq War by merging two previous task forces, Task Force 5 and Task Force 20. These predecessor groups had been operating in Afghanistan and Iraq respectively, and were designed to eliminate high-ranking members of the Taliban, as well as other terrorist organizations in the Middle East. The newly created Task Force 121 combined the intelligence and the combat capabilities of these units into a single cohesive fighting force. The primary mission of Task Force 121 was to locate and capture key figures from Saddam Hussein's regime, including Saddam himself. The unit gained international attention following the successful capture of Saddam Hussein during Operation Red Dawn on December 13, 2003. In the months following his capture, Task Force 121 continued to operate in Iraq, hunting down insurgent leaders, terrorists, and other high-priority targets. And Task Force 121's operations were categorized by precision, speed, and stealth, often utilizing a combination of intelligence gathering, drone surveillance, and special forces raids. These tactics allowed them to conduct highly secretive missions that require a blend of covert action and brute force. The combination of different special forces and intelligence operatives made Task Force 121 a versatile and effective unit capable of rapid target strikes on key individuals. The Call of Duty franchise, particularly in Modern Warfare, draws heavily from real-world military operations and units, at least most of the time. Incorporating elements of actual warfare into its fictional narratives, Task Force 141, one of the main special force units in the Modern Warfare games, was heavily inspired by Task Force 121. Of course, other similar real-life units were used as inspirations as well. While Task Force 141 is an international group made of elite soldiers from around the world, its structure and missions closely mirror the goals and the operations of Task Force 121. One of the key aspects of the fictional Task Force 141 that reflects Task Force 121 is its focus on high-stakes, high-value missions. In Modern Warfare, Task Force 141 is tasked with capturing or eliminating terrorists, warlords, and other global threats, much like Task Force 121's real hunt for real-life terrorists and insurgent leaders. The fusion of elite operators from different nations in Task Force 141 mirrors how Task Force 121 brought together the best from various US military branches and intelligence agencies. And another parallel lies in its tactics and mission profiles. Task Force 141 in Call of Duty conducts covert operations, including behind enemy lines infiltration, surveillance, and rapid strike missions. These types of missions directly reflect Task Force 121's operations, where speed, secrecy, and precision were critical to success. The emphasis on teamwork, intelligence, and tactical superiority in Modern Warfare's depiction of Task Force 141 can be traced back to Task Force 121's operational prowess. In Call of Duty, Task Force 141 is led by iconic characters such as Captain Price, Sol McTavish, and Ghost, who embody the elite, hardened nature of real-world special operators. These characters are known for their exceptional combat skills, adaptability, and leadership, reflecting the high level of training and experience that real-life operators in Task Force 121 actually possessed. While Task Force 121 was a covert unit whose exact missions and operations remain classified to this day, its impact on military strategy and even pop culture has been significant. The success of the unit in high-profile operations, such as the capture of the aforementioned Saddam Hussein and its role in the broader war on terror, cemented its legacy as one of the most important task forces in modern U.S. history. This real-world success naturally caught the attention of the media and entertainment industries, particularly the creators of Call of Duty. By crafting Task Force 141 as a fictional international counterpart to Task Force 121, the game developers were able to bring the intensity and excitement of real-world special operations to the global audience. The franchise capitalized on the public's fascination with elite military units, drawing inspiration from Task Force 121's stealth, strategy, and high-profile missions. In Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Task Force 141 quickly became one of the most beloved and recognizable units in the gaming world, with its characters and missions leaving a lasting impression on many players. The influence of Task Force 141 is evident in the way these games focus on realism, strategy, and intricacies, providing players with a glimpse into challenges faced by these real-world special forces. Task Force 121 was a key player in the U.S. military operations during the Iraq War and the broader War on Terror. Its elite composition, focused on high-value targets and covert operations, set a standard for modern special forces. Call of Duty Task Force 141, inspired by Task Force 121, brings these real-world operations into the realm of fiction, into the realm of video games, allowing players to experience the intensity and high stakes of special force missions. Through this connection, Task Force 141 serves as both a tribute to and a reflection of the bravery and skill exhibited by real-life units like Task Force 121.